Now we want to look at an SSIS package. The SSIS package is where you actually program the extraction, transformations, and loading processes. So we'll look at that now and see how SSIS allows you to program for ETL. Okay, we're back here on our little SSIS demos project, and we have one package. Now, what a package is it is code, XML code behind the scenes. So when I first make a package, there's a block of XML code. And you could actually program this package by typing in XML code, but I don't think you'll find much use for that. Instead, what you typically do is you come over to the toolbox and you drag and drop tasks or controls from the toolbox onto the surface. Now these are controls, that's a generic term, but most of them are tasks. Some of them are like containers. So if you hear somebody says control or task, it's the same thing. Here is an execute SQL task, and to configure the task itself, I would right-click and go Edit. A dialog window appears, and from there I can start doing my configuration. Configurations here change the behavior of the task as if you had just programmed the code in XML. So for example, let's say I put a SQL statement. This particular task is used to execute SQL statements. I'll make up a SQL statement. If I right-click and go to the source code again, I'll see that my select statement that I just typed in is here. You can zoom by holding down the control button and rolling the mouse back and forth. So you can see quite clearly that what you're doing when you're dragging and dropping tasks from the toolbox onto the surface and then configuring those tasks is programming. A couple things to note, there is a dialog window that you can get to by either double-clicking on the tasks, almost always, or right-clicking on the task and saying Edit. But in addition to that dialog window, there is a property window as well. So the deal is that some of the items in the property window, I should say most of the items in the property window, appear in the dialog window and vice versa. However, there are times where you can only find a setting in the property window, or not as often, but sometimes only find the setting in the dialog window. So if you can't find what you want, you may have to look in both places until you find it. It sounds kind of complex, but the good news is you only use about 20% of these settings and maybe even a little bit less to do 80% of your work. There are a lot of settings you'll just never mess with. In fact, some of the settings are from old stuff from back in the day when this product used to be called Data Transformation Services. That's what the DTS is standing for there, the old name of the software. Anyway, the next thing to do is to learn how to actually go ahead and work with the different tasks at your disposal. And we're going to concentrate on two common things that you work with. That is the Control Flow tab and the Data Flow tab. And that's our next stop. See you there.